Have you gotten a little too comfortable with staying comfortable? That's what we're going to be talking about today is how we have become a society that is just comfortable doing what we did yesterday, the day before, the year before, etc. Let's get on to the show.
You're listening to Be in Demand, the podcast for honest advice, inspiring stories, and ideas for growing your business by leveraging the expert that you are. I'm your host, Laurie-Ann, business mentor, and I'm also a reformed painfully shy girl, red wine lover, and exercise enthusiast. Join me as I share how being positioned as the expert in your industry, even if it's a busy one, will help you stand out and be the one in demand to hire and work with.
So I know that beginning probably sounded a little harsh. Are you too comfortable with staying comfortable? But this is something that I've been noticing. And I really noticed it because one, we're here, like it's winter is in full swing here in the Northeast. And I was walking to my car in a parking garage. And I noticed like several cars that had starters on. Like there was no driver, but the car was running. And this happened to be at a business, and it was probably like either the changing of the guard, like shift changes, people are leaving work. And I just like, wow, like it's not, this particular day wasn't even that cold. It's like, wow, people don't even want to walk out into what I'd considered to be like, granted, this is my perspective, a warm 50-degree Fahrenheit day. Like it wasn't that cold, but these people are starting their cars because my goodness, they're going from a heated office. They got to walk out into the car garage and they want to get into their car as quickly as possible. And they want to make sure that it's heated. Or if it's during the summer, that it's chilled because we don't want to be in the heat too long. We don't want to we don't have to walk to our car too far. We are turning into a nation that basically is, I'm comfortable and I don't want to get uncomfortable. I mean, after all, if you're hungry, there's food everywhere. You don't even have to go hungry. And I recently, just over the past weekend, just finished an almost 48-hour fast. And it wasn't that hard, but what the hard part was the anticipation beforehand. But I'll probably dive more into that later. But if you're hungry, there's food nearby. Like we don't even let the stomach grumbles go too long. It's like, oh, I must be hungry. Let me feed my body. Oh my goodness, it's cold outside. Let me stay inside. Oh my goodness, it's hot outside. No, grandma, you shouldn't go outside. Stay indoors with the air conditioning. Don't get any sunlight. Like we are just so comfortable with being comfortable.
Are you ready to leverage speaking as your best form of marketing? There are over 7,500 events looking for speakers every single day. Speaking positions you as the expert in the room, but you probably don't know where to start. So I created this great resource called the Directory of Places to Speak. This resource will help you get started today. So head on over to speakandstandout.com/directory to grab your free copy now. Don't miss this opportunity to be the expert speaking to audiences filled with your ideal clients.
That I have been thinking about, what if you got uncomfortable on the regular? And I'm a big advocate for borrowing something from one area of your life and using it in other areas of your life. So getting uncomfortable, maybe going for a walk in nature when it's freezing outside. All you got to do is dress up nice and warm, or maybe you decide I'm not going to dress that warm. And you go for that walk. Like I did that over the weekend also. And I was just like, I know it's going to be cold. I know it's going to be uncomfortable. But guess what? I know that I'll survive. I know that I'm not going to get lost in the woods. I'm going to do well. Like I can just always turn around, walk the same way that I got there, and get back into my car sooner than later. But I'm practicing getting uncomfortable. in other areas of my life so that I can use those skills, teaching my nervous system it's okay to get uncomfortable because sooner or later that will become easy. So I've done cryotherapy before. And if you haven't heard this story, I will share this with you. I was traveling across the country and I'd heard about this cryotherapy center that was in the area that I was going to be speaking in and coaching executives. It was a leadership immersive program. And I'd heard that it's really great for jet lag. So I booked an appointment. And when I got there, I arrived early in California and had lunch. And then I went to this place and I walked in and I was scared. I was literally scared. And they said, "How can we help you?" And I said, "I'm scared." And they said, "Oh, you must be Laurie-Ann." It's like they even knew my name. And probably because, like, all right, scared person must equal new person. And they just like took me under their wing. And yeah, I was scared. Like, was I going to be able to make it into negative 90-degree Fahrenheit temperature? That's what cryotherapy is. And there's a lot more to it, but the max you can do is 4 minutes. And I did the 4 minutes. I mean, I had to be entertained. Like there's always somebody in the room with you, making sure that you're doing okay. And I was just like, just keep talking to me. Like I couldn't even talk. I just wanted to listen. I needed something else to focus on while I was uncomfortable. But guess what? I didn't just do it that one time. I did it 3 days while I was out there that week. I survived. I survived getting uncomfortable, trying something new. And that was the whole point why I signed up for this cryotherapy was because I was like, wow, I haven't gotten out of my comfort zone in a while. I was comfortable being comfortable. So that was my whole purpose why I did the cryotherapy. So going for the walk in the cold weather, and today it's actually a snowstorm. So I won't go outside today, although I could go in my backyard through the woods. And the only reason why I'll stay off the roads is because, cars and there's plow trucks and, like I want to be courteous of them. But don't worry, more cold weather is coming. It's okay to get uncomfortable because how can I use that in my business? So I just want you to think about where are you getting too comfortable? Maybe you're not getting visible enough. Maybe you're afraid you don't feel confident hitting the go live button. Maybe you've been wanting to go live. Maybe you want to share more content that really hits home, that really hits people between the eyes. Maybe you want to try something new in your business. Maybe there's a program that you want to try running, that is, but maybe you're afraid to launch it. What will people think? Maybe they don't want this. Well, you won't know until you get uncomfortable and you actually offer it. This is something that I'm going to be doing this year. An idea came to me and I just think, wow, this would be a great idea. And I'll never know if my audience thinks it's a great idea if I don't offer it, if I don't pick a date on the calendar. And if you're wondering what this is, it's writing your speech in a weekend, like a Friday, Saturday. So if that sounds something that's interesting to you, I want you to shoot me a DM, either over on Instagram, or if you're on my email list, hit reply to one of my emails and say, "Hey, Laurie-Ann, I heard you talk about this 2-day event to write my signature speech. I want to know more information. Put me on the wait list." That's a little glimpse of what might be coming, but I love doing events. I love doing in-person events. I love doing virtual events. So I'm no stranger to them either. But sometimes we just get in a rut of just doing the same thing again and again and again. And sometimes it's good to spice things up a little bit. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm getting a little spicy and I'm going to offer like, hey, instead of taking, the 9 weeks to write your signature speech, maybe you want to just write it in a weekend. And I'm going to be right there with you. It'll be a small, intimate group, by the way, also. So where can you get a little uncomfortable? Where are you noticing that, I have been a little too comfortable sticking in my comfort zone? because this is exactly how you get on stage. If you've never been on stage before, or maybe it's been a long time since you've been on stage, getting uncomfortable with the idea, like, yeah, I'm going to say yes. Getting uncomfortable with pitching yourself, getting uncomfortable with saying, hey, I don't know how to write a speech. Laurie-Ann, how do you do this? I'll show you how. Getting uncomfortable and knowing that it's just temporary. It's temporary until you get to the other side, until you finish the task, until you do the thing. And then when you get uncomfortable and do the thing on repeat again and again and again, one day you're going to look back and say, that was easy. Can't believe how I felt the first time I wanted to do this. And you should be proud of yourself. But a lot of times we forget what it's like to try something new because we're so afraid of what other people are going to think. What will they think if I do this? What will they think if I start my own business? What will people think if I pitch myself to speak? What will my friends think? What will family? What will my clients? What will other people, strangers who I'm not really friends with on social media think when I put the word speaker in my bio? Oh my goodness. Stop living by somebody else's approval. Does it feel good for you? Is that been something that you've wanted to do? Well, then go and do it. I have a text message that I have sent to my phone every day via Zapier, and it's every thought is a bullshit story. So tell yourself the right story. Every day that shows up at 8 a.m., and I read it before I delete it. Every thought that I have is a bullshit story. So I get to decide what stories to believe. So if I'm going to put speaker in my bio, guess what? I'm going to put speaker in my bio. Like, what's the story that I'm going to tell myself? Oh, I'm a speaker. That's like the shortest story. I'm a fill in the blank. I'm a world-class coach. I like people like hire me to help them craft their signature speech. People take my programs. So I'm going to tell myself a different story. Like people love it when I offer my programs. People love to be on my email list. They love to hear my stories. The downloads to my podcast here go up every week. Now that's not just a story. Like I'm also watching the stats and I also see that, which is confirming my story. And I love seeing that because I know that I'm helping more people. And if you want a free way, basically I need to reciprocity to help this podcast get into more people's hands, please leave a review. Go, like hit the review, give it 5 stars if you feel it deserves 5 stars, and put your thoughts in there. Because the more that Apple or Spotify or even Google get more reviews, the more that they share my podcast with other people and make it as a suggestion. So please do that. I'm also on Instagram. That's another way that I get out there. And sometimes I do get uncomfortable by writing something edgy. And what's edgy for me may not be edgy for you. But the whole point of this particular episode is, where are you a little too comfortable? Where can we shake things up? Where can you try something new? And when you do the thing, I want you to really honor it, really be fully present, really look back on it and be like, wow, I did that. Wow, I pitched myself. Wow, I pitched myself to be on this podcast. Wow, I started my own podcast. You know what? I committed that I'm going to show up every day, Monday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, whatever the time is that you want. But I would always look at your analytics and figure out like the people, who are following you, what time are they on? But does that coordinate with a good time for yourself? Is it a time that you can commit to? Just go pick it. Just go try something new. I mean, life is so interesting. I mean, would you really want to live in a life that was the same thing every single day? There was no variety. There was no challenge. You might be nodding your head yes, but deep down inside, no, you wouldn't. You would be missing variety. It would be way too predictable. And that's what getting out of your comfort zone is. That's what getting uncomfortable. Maybe if you live in the Northeast, turn the heat off. Just get uncomfortable. I do this a lot just because, one, there's so much data about the goodness and the benefits of cold therapy. And so if I can't do like an ice bath or a plunge, or cryotherapy on the regular, like, hey, it's winter. Guess what? I'm just going to I'll shut the heat off and I'll get uncomfortable. But I also know that I can always turn the heat back on when I'm really, really uncomfortable. Or maybe I can make it to my destination before that happens. And then I just notice, wow, I did the thing. Guess what? I can probably pick up my phone and hit that go live button. I can probably send that email asking for that testimonial to that speaking event. I can probably do that cold outreach to that person that I know has been watching me and watching all my content, and I would love to work with them. What do you need to do to get uncomfortable? Try a little something, and I would love to hear what you do when you get uncomfortable. So if you are at that point where you're like, you know what, Laurie-Ann, it is time that I work with you. It is time that I get uncomfortable and start speaking and start writing a speech that I'm proud to deliver. Book a call with me. I work with high achievers who have a message to deliver, who have decided that their why, their message is bigger than their fear of speaking, than their fear of what other people are going to think. I will help you craft a compelling, captivating, and most importantly, converting presentation. And I have a variety of different ways to work with me, especially this year. I've got some unique things that are coming up that I kind of already mentioned a little bit about, but book a call with me. I am happy to share what those are, and I'll be able to share those dates with you so that you can put them on your calendar. Because wouldn't it be fun to write your signature speech in a weekend so that you can then start pitching yourself ASAP? Yes, it would be. And you'll be doing it with a group of people. We're going to probably do this. It'll be done virtually. But who knows? Maybe in the future, there will be these in-person meetings as well. So until next week, and if you want to book that call, all you have to do is the link will be down below, but it is Chat with LA, and there's a small questionnaire, and you can book some time that's convenient for you, and we will talk about your business. We will discuss your goals. When you get on a call with me, this is not some high pressure sales tactic. That's not what I'm like. I only work with the right people one-on-one. But I will also share with you the different group programs that I have or the DIY programs that I have, but only if they're a good fit for you. I'm not like, like when you go to the doctors, they write you a prescription. They don't just write you a prescription for something you don't need. At least I hope they don't. That's what I am like. I am going to share with you, here's what I think that you would really benefit from. So until next time, I want you to get uncomfortable, intentionally uncomfortable. Be proud of yourself when you do that, and just notice you didn't die. Notice you did the thing. And then go figure out like, hey, let me go get uncomfortable in my business. And so until next time, I want you to go and be in demand.
Thanks for hanging out with me. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And join me over in my private Facebook group for more tips, community, and free trainings. You'll find the link in the show notes. You can also help this podcast reach more listeners by leaving a review. And as a thank you, each month I pick one of my reviewers to win a free coaching call with me. So if you haven't done so already, please leave a review and you could be the next winner.